Great. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the fifth session of Group Coaching Explore Exercise. This is our last session that we will be meeting. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's been quick. It's hopefully everything you expected it to be. If there's anything you guys do need to touch base with me on, feel free. I will wrap things up towards the end of the session with any missed sessions or how to ensure you got your points. So other than that, I think we'll get started. So today's session, we're going to talk a little bit about overcoming barriers and injuries and kind of how to kind of work through those barriers, kind of reframing your thought process on those. And then we'll talk a little bit about preventing injuries and dealing with injuries as they come. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about what barriers are. So when I work with coaching clients specifically on the one-on-one kind of format, we talk a little bit about barriers because it's really important to understand what these are. It usually is the number one reason or reasons why you aren't reaching your health goals. And there are oftentimes things in our life that I guess are kind of those roadblocks, or as you can see here in the picture, those cones that are kind of disrupting maybe us getting to that place where we can kind of focus more on ourselves. The biggest thing with barriers is I don't always like to address them as being a negative component to why we're not reaching our goals. I think this is really important, especially if those barriers are people or important things in your life. You don't want to bring that negativity to that situation, specifically speaking, like, for instance, kids can oftentimes be barriers for people. Those reasons why we don't find time to work out, whether they're too young and we have to be more one-on-one with them, or if they're, getting into the older ages of being involved in school activities and sports and that type of thing. Whatever it is, kids can oftentimes be a barrier. What I often like to say is, work around those situations that works with your lifestyle. So if it is kids or family commitments or work commitments, how can you work around those certain situations to make it work for you? So if you have kids that have after school activities, how can you find time to work out for yourself? Maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's late at night, maybe it's on your lunch break, maybe it's, focusing on those days that you don't have after school activities to get in your way of achieving your goals. Once again, I mentioned the word reframing. I like to use this word a lot because oftentimes we get stuck in those thought processes that, I just don't have any time to work out, right? And what I like to say is, kind of saying back, like, you don't have any time to, work out, and it's not meant to be like negative. Well, you don't have time to commit 30 minutes a day for 3 or 4 days a week to yourself, or, kind of just bringing it out of that negativity component and bringing it more into the positive light. Like, wow, yeah, I could really spend 30 minutes of my day working out, and that would be very beneficial for me and my family and my life. So kind of just, once again, kind of switching gears and changing that perspective, because it is all perspective of what we want for ourselves. Okay. Next, this is kind of a good thought. So if you can't find reasons for not wanting to exercise, you can find a solution. So if you can find the reasons for not wanting to exercise, you can find a solution. So if you kind of put your hands out like a scale, right? So you put all the reasons why you don't want to exercise, but you can't exercise, all those, ways that are preventing you from getting into that exercise routine, and then you put everything else that's positive about why you should exercise on the other hand, and kind of weigh those out. What is more important? What is kind of driving you to, be not exercising, or what's driving you to exercise. And hopefully more things are adding on to the positive side, the hand that has all those things that you do want to benefit from an exercise. I oftentimes see excuses driving that cyclical kind of mentality. Well, I can't work out, or I'm not working out after work because I'm too tired, or I don't have enough time, or, it's not priority, and maybe that's not said, but it's kind of up there. Well, if you don't have enough energy, it's probably because you're not working out. You don't have enough time because you're spending your time doing other things that are maybe not as beneficial. So it's kind of, once again, reframing that mindset as to what those reasons are why you're not finding time to exercise versus finding a solution to get that exercise into your day. All right, next I want to focus on preventing injury, especially for anybody. If you're starting out, if you're, an avid exerciser, it's really important to focus on preventing injury, especially because we all are getting older and we don't bounce back as quickly as we used to in our good old glory years, right? So some thoughts, pretty simplistic concept, starting slow, right? If you're getting back into it, start slow. Find that routine, find that groove. Warming up, I can't stress this enough. In our previous sessions, we talked about stretches. These are the dynamic stretches. So those exercises, those stretching exercises that are moving, those arm circles, those, slow marching in place, the Frankensteins, those type of stretches that get your muscles primed to start working out. That is so important, especially if you are working out outside now. It's getting chilly up in Wisconsin and the Midwest and pretty much anywhere across the country, but we're getting into those chillier days where going outside is not as warm, so making sure your muscles are warm and then cooling down with those nice static stretches. Once your muscles are used and they're warm, get those nice deep static stretches in, making sure you don't hurt yourself by stretching too far, but that will really help with your recovery, help you bounce back so you're able to work out, more frequently. You're not bogged down by sore muscles. And then, once you kind of get into your groove, increase your exercise wisely, right? Adding a few more minutes here or there, adding up your intensity, your distances, those type of things. All right, and then if we do happen to come across an injury, it happens to the best of us. I can't say this enough, so that's why it's on the page 3 times. Rest, 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 right? So we don't want to get back into it too quickly, making sure your body is able to recover. Once again, we're not in our young years of bouncing back after, we get down. I'm just thinking of our kids and how quickly they can recover. Well, we unfortunately can't anymore. So let's make sure we rest up as much as possible, maybe even a little bit longer than you think. And then when you do have that injury, ice first, the first 24 hours. If it's a muscle injury, ice first, and then after that time frame, heat, and making sure you're stretching that muscle, keep using it if you can. Obviously, those acute, sprains, those type of things, making sure if it's a serious injury to talk to your doctor or whatever, have it looked at by a medical professional. But if it's just a, muscle injury here or there, making sure you're able to kind of keep that moving to prevent it from kind of stiffening up on you. And once again, muscles should feel sore after you work out, but not hurt. So if you're unable to climb the steps after you're working out, maybe that intensity is just a little too much. I know we all kind of, once again, have in our mindsets those glory years of being able to be, in high school again, but our muscles don't respond as quickly. So making sure that if you do feel sore, to dial it down a little bit with your intensity. All right, that is all I have for you guys. I again apologize for the technical issues. As you can see, I'm still dealing with some issues with not having PowerPoint working as well. So this was our last session. All 5 sessions have now been recorded, and I will distribute them out. If you did miss any, make sure you watch them and let me know when you do watch them so I can give you credit. And once you do receive credit for all 5 sessions on your dashboard, you should receive a white check mark, and your score total for your bio screen will not change. But once you receive that green check mark, you are good to go as long as you have completed your HRA, which the deadline has passed, and then as long as you have completed your bio screen and logged an annual physical. If you need any help with any of those things, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for participating in this series, you guys, and feel free to reach out if you need any assistance over the next few months. Thanks. Have a great day.